So not being exposed to like a lot of social opportunities, did you feel, I guess, hindered in that way?
Yes, I had such a desire that was just like ingrained in me that I could not ignore. And it was like weird for me to be so isolated from that and still like have such a desire. Like we had cable, so I would watch like Disney Channel and things like that. And I just like, I would watch the show, I'd go in the bathroom and I'd like try and remember the lines and be like, oh, I'm gonna do this. And I felt so silly because I didn't realize like this is actually a career path. Like I could do that one day.
Welcome back to Your Worth, Your Beauty, the podcast for 1035 Clothing, where we hear from women all around the world who are clothed in confidence, dignity, and worth.
We're your hosts, Victoria and Angie, and we're so glad you're here.
Any amazing fashion trends you regret?
Regret. Okay, so I was a teenager in 2014 during the height of the colored pants, which is coming back and I'm so excited. They're not quite the skinny jeans anymore, but I don't know if you guys remember Justice. It's no longer like a store, but now it's like Walmart has a Justice vision. I'm like so excited that you can still buy Justice. But Justice was like the holy grail of pink girly sparkles. Like, that was the place. But they had like printed jeans, like all of these crazy colors, and I had all of them. I had like the black ones with the florals, but I don't say I regret it, but I grew up during that part, so any of my pictures of me, I'm in like purple pants or blue pants, and I was like accessorized to the max, where like my whole outfit was revolving around the colored pants.
We got some across the street.
Yeah.
I saw a couple days ago.
What about a hair trend? Did you guys know that?
You said you had a bad hair?
Oh yes,
You
so
had really good hair.
Yeah,
It seems like you would
I've worked very hard to attain the hair that I have now.
Yeah.
There was a lot of phases.
Right.
Oh gosh, when I was 13, I went to a hair salon in our teeny tiny little small town, and I got my hair dyed because I wanted to be blonde. This is somewhat natural hair color now. It's like a mix.
So you're not actually a blonde?
No, I was born somewhat blonde.
Okay.
But I've like gotten my hair so me and my hairstylist have figured out my thing now.
Okay.
It's like the old money blonde is what I have now. So like natural on top, but then we mix in some money pieces and like really let it flow. So it seems natural. But no.
It does look very natural.
But when I first went blonde, it was so bad. It was like this brassy, like orangish yellow, and I was so traumatized that I like didn't want to go back. So I just kept it that way for like 6 months. And then the regrowth, it was so bad that I would just slick it back into a ponytail and put a bow on it.
Wow. Right.
Let's just say whenever I finally went and got it fixed, I got over my trauma. I went to a new hairstylist. I'm like 14 at this point because it had been a year. She just like put in this magic spray stuff and it took out all the awful color. And then I just had like my brown with like a little bit of blonde toner or whatever in it.
Yeah.
And as soon as that happened, I kid you not, the like week after that, all these boys started like asking me for my phone number and like the world just like opened up. I was like, oh, okay. Your hair really does make a difference.
It does.
There's a fine line between not looking like super homeschooled and like you've never left your house and having the length where it's like, ooh, that's like Ariana Grande's old like ponytail style. Like there's a fine line you have to walk between.
Yeah.
I was homeschooled, that's why I say that, because it's true.
You're allowed. You're allowed.
I'm not making fun of homeschoolers, I am one.
It's like someone making fun of your mom.
Right. Yeah. I'm in that tribe. Yeah. Wonderful. Well, let me go ahead and introduce you so people know a little bit about you. Yasmin Dickerson is a wife, a mother of 2 young children, a follower of Jesus Christ, and a working actress and model. From a young age, Yasmin had a passion for performing and fashion. She was one of those kids that would make her family come to her concerts and fashion shows. Yep. We would have been friends. Yasmin was raised deep in the Tennessee woods. Despite her having limited access to the performing arts and no Wi-Fi, her love for acting and fashion flourished. Through hard work, she has been able to secure her spot in the Nashville film and modeling community, working with brands like Molly Green, Cozy Earth, Hallmark, and music artists Kenny Chesney and Toby Mac, just to name a few. So Yasmin, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We're so glad to have you. And I know a little bit of your story just from working with you as an actress. So on the show we like to ask women some of their journey through whether it was an issue with confidence, dignity, or self-worth. And can you tell us about maybe something in childhood or adolescence, whatever it may be, where you struggled with that and how you kind of overcame that struggle?
So because of where I was raised in this town of less than 300 people. I didn't go to school. I was homeschooled. We didn't have Wi-Fi until I was like 16, so that was fun. But like fashion magazines, when we would go to Walmart, I don't know if you guys remember like M Magazine. I didn't read J14 because that was a little too mature for me.
Okay.
But M Magazine was pretty wholesome. But it would just like take the fashion trends and it'd be like, oh, this is what Ariana Grande or Dove Cameron and them were like wearing. Oh, they wore the same dress. Like it was that type of thing, and I loved it. And I would like every time we go to Walmart every week, I'd get the new issue of the magazine, and I just had this huge stack of them. And like the Justice catalogs too. That's why I referenced Justice earlier, because it was a big thing for me to like flip through those catalogs. Yeah. And I remember looking at those catalogs and being like, I want to do this one day. Like these girls look so happy, they look so confident, they look so fun. I was like 14, but I just remember like looking at them and being like, I want to do that. But because of where I was raised, I really didn't have a ton of friends. I didn't have a lot of outside interaction. I got to go to dance. So like my dance and like church was like my only social outings.
Yeah.
But I feel like my confidence really struggled in that just because I never experienced like the world. I was never out there, and I was just in the woods and at home and looking at these fashion magazines.
In
and
the woods?
It
Wait,
took
what do you mean the woods? Like
100 acres.
Oh, okay.
Like 2-hour drive to anywhere type situation. Like we had a Sonic and a Dollar General, and that was it.
Yeah.
I didn't know what a Chick-fil-A was until I was 15. Didn't have Chipotle till I was like 17.
I like that so she's measuring. Like, I didn't know what Chick-fil-A was.
No.
15.
No.
Not the Wi-Fi, but the Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. So not being exposed to like a lot of social opportunities. Did you feel, I guess, hindered in that way?
Yes, I had such a desire that was just like ingrained in me that I could not ignore. And it was like weird for me to be so isolated from that and still like have such a desire. Yeah. Like we had cable, so I would watch like Disney Channel and things like that. And I just like, I would watch the show, I'd go in the bathroom and I'd like try and remember the lines and be like, oh, I'm gonna do this. And I felt so silly because I didn't realize like this is actually a career path. Like I could do that one day. But like for me it was like, I have this desire, but I don't know why. Yeah. Like I have no reason to have this. We don't even have like a theater here. Like why do I have this desire?
Yeah.
But really it wasn't until I got married and I had my daughter. And I feel like at that point I was deep in the next of mom life. It was COVID. I had this new baby that was very dependent on me. I'm the oldest of 5, so I'm used to being around children, but not like when it's like your child, you know? Yeah. And I was just in the thick of momhood, and I realized, you know what? I think I need something for myself too, because I'm giving so much that's kind of how I got into the started looking into other options. Like, wait a second, I still have this desire. I was raised in a way where I thought like motherhood was it. Like my mom devoted her whole life to me and my siblings, and she's amazing and a wonderful woman, and I don't have any regrets towards how she decided to raise us. But for me, I was kind of like, I don't know if I want my whole life, because my siblings are older now, and my mom is still like figuring out what she wants to do now, because she's got time, because she gave the last 30 something years of her life to all of us, where it's just like I realized I have more to give. Like I'm gonna give everything I have to my kids, but at the same time I'm still a person and I still have these desires, and I feel like I can do good with it.
Yeah.
As a believer, do you think now, looking back, do you feel like it was a gift that was planted? I think sometimes you're like, I'm good at this, but I don't know how. Or as some people, I feel like, can look at other people's gifts and think there's no way that it would, make sense or work. When I was little, probably 7 or 8, a couple of neighbors and I would take clothes out of my closet. And my mom was not big into fashion. My sister wasn't either. But
you had that passion.
Yeah, and now looking back, it's like, okay, from a very early age, I feel like God was like...
And you had like no reason to have it because you didn't have your mom's example for it. But like you still had it.
Yeah, and similar to what you're saying, like you were not surrounded by this. It's just something that was planting in you that, at some point in your life would be used for God's glory. But that's incredible. Do you look back now and think, can you see the path, I guess, that he had kind of nurtured?
I would make fake YouTube videos on my mom's like little flip phone thing about fashion and different things. So I'd be like, this is how you tie an infinity scarf or something like ridiculous.
Yeah, that's so good.
But like it was definitely there, but I didn't know how to use it. And it took me, 5 years into being married and having a family before I realized like, this isn't as like it fulfilled a huge part of me to be like, okay, I'm a mom. This is what I've always wanted to do. I'm a wife. We have a house. Like we have 2 kids now. Like, but like there's still that nagging inside. And I told my husband all the time, like, I just don't know what's wrong. I'm like, I don't know if we need another kid, but like I just have this passion inside of me that's like not being fulfilled right now. Yeah. Like I don't know why.
Yeah.
And I kind of ran with that, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
My friends were definitely like, oh wow, that's kind of crazy that you're doing all this. I'm like, I know, but like it doesn't feel crazy to me. It feels like meant to be. Yeah. Like it didn't feel like I was running a million miles. It felt like peaceful. Like this is the path that I was led down. Yeah. Like finding Tina was like a godsend too.
Yeah. That's so beautiful. It's interesting because yesterday at church, our pastor was talking about how we all, like in Ephesians 2, it talks about how we're created for God's workmanship. Yes. And how he actually like had things for us to do before time. Like he molded us in a way that like we're supposed to fit into those designs. And so what's a little bit of like that process when you started taking action toward, hey, I have this desire. How did you start to see that come to fruition? Obviously you didn't stay in the backwoods. No. Moved to Nashville.
When I turned 18, I went out to school. Me and my husband ended up going out together because I met him like right before I left, and we had like this, this is great, let's get married. And my parents were like, yeah, because they got married super young too. So that part was kind of crazy. Like we were just so wholesome, and so like, we're gonna do this. We're gonna get married and have a family. Like who cares that I'm 18 and you're 22? Like we're gonna figure this out. And we figured it out. Looking back, I'm like, wow, we accomplished a lot in that. I'm sorry, what was your question now that I just rambled down that?
No, you're good. So yeah, and then kind of when did you come to Nashville and like start pursuing everything?
So we went out to college briefly. I studied apparel construction design because I wanted to be a fashion designer. I was like, this is what I want to do, you know? I studied that, but my husband got an internship here in Nashville. Okay. And so we had to leave, which was really heartbreaking for me because for the first time in my life, I was surrounded by creativity. I was in these art classes, I was in fashion classes, I was dancing. I wasn't on like the dance team, but I was in like different classes because I danced all growing up. I still am a ballerina now as well. But I was just finally in this place where I was like, this is what I wanted. Like all of these desires are being fulfilled. I'm learning, I'm training. And then having this, we have to go because I need to do my internship. And at the point, like, dancing isn't really going to be, at that point, it wasn't going to be like this isn't what's going to feed our family, you know?
Yeah.
Like, his job is what we need to focus on. So I was like, okay, it was really hard for me to like, you know what? We're going to do it. We're going to go back home. So we went to Nashville. I was really, for the next 3 or 4 years, just so devoted to like housewife and kids and let's do this thing. Let's get our family started. And it was in 2019, though, that I saw an ad on Facebook for a Hallmark movie. It was like, we need extras, like sign up. And so I signed up and I got an email and it was like, hey, we want you, but it's in Memphis, which is like 2 hours away. And I told my husband, I'm like, hey, I signed us up for this. Like, we have to go do this tonight. He's like, what? I'm like, yeah. And
so it wasn't just you. You're like, I'm also signing up.
Yeah, I signed it. Well, I couldn't even drive. I was so scared. I had a license, but like I was so just like traumatized of the world and like the idea of like, oh gosh, there's like people out there and cars and that I couldn't. Like I had this mental burden that like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
So now through acting and stuff, I had to get over that hurdle, which is crazy to me now that I drive up to Nashville like every single day. Because back then, if I knew I had to drive to Nashville, it would like bug me for like a whole month. I'd know like, oh, I have to drive to Nashville in a month. I don't know what I'm going to do. But like, I feel like God has really helped me get over that hurdle through this where I don't even think about it anymore. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to go to this job. It's cool.
Yeah, that's amazing. Like to see, I mean, I didn't know you in the start, but I recognize like, because I dealt with similar fears. I'm from a small town, and
it's so scary. There's not even stoplights where I'm from. So I'm like, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, people are like, it's just Nashville, but I'm like, if you're from somewhere different, it's almost like going to like a foreign country.
No,
like,
it is.
Learn everything new.
What are exits? Like, oh my gosh.
No, that's good. I was just thinking about my dad was from a very small town called Bucksnort.
Oh, I heard of that.
Bucksnort.
Yeah.
In Tennessee.
It's in Tennessee, and it's everything that you would think it would be. It's so funny to think about, like, growing up. I went to high school in downtown Nashville, so I didn't know any different. You know? I guess the slower-paced way of life seems uncomfortable to me. You know, so it's funny, like, just, again, it's what you know, and maybe your path and what God has led you to or put you in, for you to need at one point. But it's so funny because my husband and I, when we first met, he lived downtown, and I was trying to figure out a way that we could raise our kids downtown. And that's impossible, right? You got a size of grass that's, like 12 by 12. There's no way you could do it. But that just felt like home to me. So it's funny to hear you guys say, this felt so foreign, but
it felt right though. Like driving into the city for the first time after I was over my fear of like, I'm not gonna die, it's fine. Like I was like, whoa, like this is amazing. And now every time I drive to Nashville, I'm like, wow, I can't believe for so long I had this hurdle that like was keeping me from all these amazing people and opportunities and experiences.
That's so good.
That is really good.
Yeah, and it's so wild what God can do with our lives when we're just like, we take a step of faith, and step in really into our skin, like how He created us.
And you take the step too.
Yeah, because I'm the same. I like a faster pace of life.
I do too.
And so being in a small town, it's for some people. I really do think some people are called to that. Some people are called to something different. But it's cool when you like step into something. You're like, this feels right.
When you were somewhere else for so long too, that you're like, okay, wow, this is really like all coming together.
Yeah. I love that.
That's good.
But you made the step. You didn't stay there. And how uncomfortable it was, you got out of that. You're like, I'm going to do this.
Yeah. And I love what you said about, being a mother. And I think just in general in our age right now, there's just so many women who feel like it can only be one or the other.
Yes.
Like I can be a mom or I can be an actress or... And now we're seeing more and more women who are doing both and who are making the career work, making the family work. So what would you say to women who, like, maybe they are a mom and they have a desire for something else, like something more? What would you say to that?
I would say start small. Find something that will work with your schedule and with your kids. What I found for us when I got started was a Mother's Day Out program when my daughter turned 3 or 4, I believe, because up until that point I didn't try and attempt anything because she's so young. But it gave me 2 days a week for like 4 hours that she was there learning and playing with kids. And during that time I started thrifting and I made YouTube videos about thrifting, and that kind of filled my desire to talk about fashion and be on camera. And I started with that until I was ready to look into like agencies and be like, okay, I'm ready to make the final step. I feel like they're old enough. But just find something that helps fulfill that desire, but in a small way that's not going to hurt your family or hurt you. That's not a huge financial hurdle. Like find something that's just going to be like a small. There's tons of Facebook groups and stuff too where you can type in your area, whatever your hobby is, your desire, and find like a group of women who are already into that and just kind of follow along and see where it leads you. But you have to be willing to make the step. Like just thinking about, I want to join a quilting club. Well, if you never find people who are into quilting, you're probably never going to do it,
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Do you feel like too, like sometimes like God truly is kind and generous, but not so generous, right? They don't want to give you because had you known that, like you said, you were going to have to drive to Nashville every day, it may have been too much.
Oh, it was. I was like, nope. It wasn't until I booked a job that was like $3,000 a day or something in Nashville that I thought, okay, I'm going to have to do this. And my immediate plan was, I need to see if Caleb can take off work so he can drive me to Nashville. And then I realized, like, that is insane, lady. Like, you can't make your husband get off work to drive you because you have 2 cars. Like, you're just going to have to grow up and do this.
Money at that point.
I didn't even, like, I didn't even take the interstate to get there the first time. I went this crazy long roundabout way that took, like, an extra 45 minutes. But I was like, you know what? It's fine, I'm not on the interstate. But I got there, and eventually after doing that 3 or 4 times, I realized, like, okay, I think it's time to get on the interstate. I don't think we need to add 45 minutes of driving to avoid the interstate. I think I'm going to be fine. Prayer also helped.
Yeah.
Praying that, like, my journey and everything would be fine as I'm on the interstate and my exits and I won't miss anything was peaceful to me.
Well, let's go into that a little bit. Because we were talking before we started about how there's a lot in this industry of compromising who you are or what you're comfortable with. And sometimes, like, I know I've been on set and it's like, I didn't know we were doing that.
No.
Like, nobody told me we were doing that. And so
most of the time, like, for big stuff like nudity or like situations like intimacy, you'll know ahead of time, like before you sign up. But like you're saying, there are times where you have to be so certain of what am I comfortable with, what are my values, what are my standards as a person, because it's going to be tested. I had booked the lead in a music video that filmed about a month ago. And for me, which other people, it's okay if you swear. I mean, that's your thing. But like for me, I don't swear. I just don't do it. I never have. My family didn't. It's like embedded in me that like, there's other ways to speak, that you don't have to talk that way. So I just don't. I was on set. I was doing the music video. I was in the middle of a scene, and the camera's on me. The director's in the other room on the microphone, and all of a sudden he's like, okay, on the count of 3, I want you to like take in a deep breath and just scream the F word at the top of your lungs. And I didn't even think about it. I instantly went, sorry, I don't swear. Can I say no? Like, can I say no instead? And they were like, it was dead silence. And he's like, sure.
Yeah.
But like for me, I'm like, I didn't get a script ahead of time that said I was gonna have to say this, so I'm not gonna say that. But I was so just like in shock when I got home later. I'm like, I did that. Like I told that director, like it wasn't even a thought for me though.
Yeah.
Like it was just, I was like, no, I don't do that.
Was it part of the script in a way? Or was he trying to get you to just
like certain emotions? Because with music
okay.
videos, there's usually no dialogue. Okay. So it was like a scene where I'm just like crying and like heartbroken, and they wanted like another emotion within that.
As far as, because at 1035, you know, a lot of it is about dignity, and I think that's a great example of what it looks like to have dignity. And I mean, people may not be actors, but in whatever their industry is, there's always going to be like testing. There's always going to be something where you're like, I've never been faced with this before. I don't know where I stand on it, or I do, and I don't see it.
It's hard when it's happening too. It's right there. It's like, oh, what do I do? Like I've never.
Yeah.
I feel a few things that seem to be universal, like with all the women that we've talked to, is that stay true to who you are, right? And try to, create boundaries for yourself. And also have peace of knowing that if you're a believer, things are they're going to work out.
Yes.
And this may not be the role, but the one that is waiting for you is the role.
He's got bigger things ahead for you.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I think sometimes it's, are you going to be faithful here? Can I trust you with this little thing? Because later there's going to be this bigger thing, right? Yeah. That you're going to need to show.
And you may not be able to do it if you've tarnished your reputation. Yeah. Like you may not be worthy to have this greater role later because you did some things back here that are just going to haunt you.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the good projects, like Angel Studios, I want to work with so bad one day. And I know for them, it's like they want to have good people, and they want to be surrounded by like faithful people and good people. And if you have this reputation behind you for all these things that you did, you may not be able to do it later when that opportunity comes, because they're like, oh, well, we'd love to have you, but there's this movie you did back then, and we just can't have that on our cast.
That's so true. Yeah, and with anything, like maybe that bigger opportunity is like you're creating the resume for what they want to look at, to know that they can trust you. Otherwise, if this is your first, go, and your first way of saying, I'm going to do this the right way, oftentimes, they might not truly be able to believe it, but kudos to you, because I can imagine how hard it is, both of you, just to say, hey, no, I'll pass, because it may seem like an incredible opportunity. Yeah.
It's easier, too, when you surround yourself with people who are like-minded. Yeah, on set, you're going to find a lot of people who are just like, I will do anything, and it just hurts my heart to hear them say that. I'm like, oh, but you don't have to. Like, I know you think you do, but like, there's another way.
Yeah.
But just finding your community and the people who are going to keep you grounded and be like, okay, you know what? They're saying no too. Everything's going to be fine. Like, I'm not crazy. Because you will feel insane to be like, why am I trying to do this if I'm going to have these standards? Like, maybe I need to just throw it all out the window to succeed, but you don't have to.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, so good, so good. Well, I think we covered all the deep questions. Is there anything I missed?
No.
Was there anything else with like maybe a specific scripture or meditation that comes to mind in this season of life of how you stay going towards those goals?
Oh goodness, I'm trying to I'm so bad with knowing exactly where everything is from.
That's okay.
But I definitely have some that just are in my heart. Prayer, really, for me, starting out my day with prayer and asking for that guidance and asking to be mindful of the opportunities that are being presented to me, and just how I can serve others. Really okay, if I'm put in this situation today, please help me to know the right path and how can I be the most helpful to you in building up your kingdom and helping others. But I do feel like everything is a circle and it's all going in the same path, and want to make sure I'm helping lead people the right direction and not the wrong direction.
Fashion forecasting, what do you see could take off in 2025?
I know rain boots are very popular right now, like the hunter boots with like cute little dresses and stuff. But I love that the girly stuff is coming back.
Yeah.
We're having a moment for like the fruit necklaces and like charms and lace, and I am so for it.
I love that too. I love the feminine.
I don't love the capris though.
No?
Capris are coming back. If it looks okay on Bella Hadid and not like great, I already know it's not gonna look good on me. Like if Bella's barely struggling to make it happen, like it's not for me.
Yeah.
What about skirts over trousers?
Oh, like the skirts over pants trend?
Yeah.
Done correctly. Nashville, I don't know if we would accept it here, to be honest.
That's what
I feel like you gotta go to like LA or New York to pull it off. I mean, you can make an Instagram reel and they'll find it that way, but walking down the street here, I think you're gonna get some weird looks.
Yeah, that's what we were saying too last time, yeah.
What about laced midi dress? We did have one in the window, but it's gone.
Lace mini dress?
Midi, like a mid, like I guess anything mid-length.
Like midi?
Really, yeah.
I like midi, especially like I think it looks cute with sandals because you don't. I'm short, so like usually hemlines.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I guess the midis are more like a maxi length on me.
Okay.
But I do think they're cute. I like a good midi because you can style it. It gives you like so many shoe options, and you can see your shoes. They're not hidden.
Yeah. Last question: has there been a favorite wardrobe piece that you've done with a modeling shoot?
I'm trying to think. Honestly, the green dress that I'm going to be wearing in your guys' fashion show might be one of the favorite things. Like the cut of it, I just put it on and I was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. I'm like, I'm going to have to like see if I can take this home later.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
It's gorgeous. Like the cut of it, it's this emerald green, which just like looks so good on my skin, and the cut just like, it was meant to be. It is a midi though.
Okay.
But we found some cute shoes that we're going to be able to see.
Yay.
So good.
All right, ladies. Well, this has been a great episode. Thanks so much, Yasmin. It's been a joy to talk to you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
It was lovely to meet you too.
Yeah, same.
Yay.
Should be in here.